So right now we just want to continue with the discussions here in studio. And remember, we're talking about, matters concerning persons with disability. And right now, disabilities for that matter. Right now, I quickly want us to switch over to now the forthcoming census. From the last census, just as I told you, there are only 1.3 million plus persons with disabilities that were registered. That was about 3.5% of the entire population. And yet, looking at the World Health Organization, it is estimated approximately 15% of the entire population constitutes of persons with disability. Let me start with you, Beth. What do you think hindered persons with disability from being counted in 2009?
Yeah, as I had mentioned,
some of the barriers.
Yeah, as I had mentioned earlier, some of the biggest barriers that make the people with disability not to be counted is because they feel there is no value in being counted. Until recently, after so much awareness, as the chairman has said,
awareness levels.
Yes, after the greater awareness levels that the chairman has said, they used to find no value of being registered. And they used to feel like, why should I be registered? For what benefit? But today, I believe they'll come out more in large numbers because at least there's some incentives to make them get registered. They also felt the fear of the information which they are giving maybe being misused, as I had earlier mentioned. Yeah, but now they know that when they give the information, it will be well secured.
Okay.
There was also the fear of maybe some of them did not even know how to go about it, and they are shy. And as the chairman has earlier mentioned, some parents hide the children with disability because of fear of victimization. Some of them, maybe they hide them because they are not aware of how the government is how they're going to benefit from the government after having been registered. But today, there's so much that they're going to benefit from the government. And once we need to continue creating more awareness, because the more they are registered, the more they're going to help the government be able to plan for them. Yes.
All right. Now, Abdi, before we get to you, yes.
Okay. First, I would like to say this. I'm calling for leaders of persons with disability and person with disability community at large and Kenyans to come together for this exercise. We as National Council for Persons with Disability, we are calling a unity for our people. When my colleague has said very well that when the statistics are gotten right, the government will plan
properly. And accordingly. Yeah.
Number two, for us as National Council for Persons with Disability, the allocation which we get from the government, because we get 100% allocation from the government, we get allocation for 1.3 persons with 0.3 million persons with disability, according to Census 2009. But let me tell you, Jane, for persons with disability, because we interact, we move to each and every corner of this country. Without fear of contradiction, I'll tell you, persons with disability have surpassed 6 million Kenyans.
As we speak.
As we speak. And
I'll
give you...
get funding for 1.3 million.
Yeah, and I will tell you why. From 2009 to 2019, that is 10 years period, a lot of people, accidents happen each and every day. Terrorism, sickness, children with disability are being born each and every day. What are we saying here? This number has become big for the National Council for Persons with Disability.
And funding has remained the same.
And the funding, now the government planned according to the statistic. It cannot give you more than you are. That is why we are here today morning, urging our people to come out in large numbers so that they can be counted. And that is when they will get benefit from their own government.
Yeah.
The government has all the goodwill. And as the National Council with Disability, we have partnered with the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. In fact, the CEO of the National Council is a member of that steering committee,
okay,
the National Steering Committee. And that is where we adopted Washington Group of Question.
And we'll be coming to that in not long. You tell us
Yeah.
now how that is going to be implemented for the benefit of our viewers. But let me come to you, Abdi. Just hearing from what Mr. Muchiri is saying, from the last census, so many were left out. We hear cases of parents hiding their children during, especially in such times. What more do you feel we need to do to just try and encourage, especially the parents that have children with disabilities, because the children get to suffer the most. What do we need to do to encourage parents to come out in large numbers and not hide their children who have disabilities?
Thank you very much for that question. The National Council for Persons with Disability continue to create more awareness. There was a time we didn't have the board, like 2 years ago, but now we have the board. We have the chairman now, and we are ready to work now. And we are hoping that now we will create even more awareness. But we also would want to appeal to the president if he can appoint someone in State House with disability, so that he can continue to advocate more and create more awareness. So I want to appeal to the president and also the deputy. They need to have a representative there for persons with disability, so that they can continue informing them about our needs. Some parents maybe are ashamed of their children. They feel, maybe they fear to expose their children. But you see, the chairman is ready to do a lot of work and to do anything possible to make sure that all people are treated equally. And he also a good example that he can do everything else that any other person can do, with or without disability. The parents need to encourage their children to go to school, because there is free education given by the government. For those parents who hate their children, they better give me. I'm ready to help them. I'm ready and willing to help them and care for them. Because the chairman is here, the council is here, the chairman is ready to support those children. Why hide your children? Why hide them? And we like the good work that you're doing of creating more awareness at the council.
I like that. So if you're there trying to hide your child, Abdi will take them. The National Council is here to assist, and that is the purpose of this council in the first place.
Yeah, just to add what my brother Abdi has said, the government is willing to support even children with disability. Only when you bring these children out. And these children have a lot of talent to showcase. You can see, let me ask you, Jane, you usually see a child with disability writing with his own mouth. You can't write. Let me tell you. There is a time we went to State House and we did a small disability mainstreaming to our president and his deputy. In fact, they were not unable to even to wheel a wheelchair. We blindfolded them. We gave them the cane just to walk around there. It's so difficult. That is the type of disability mainstreaming we need to bring on board.
So there's a lot of ignorance also among the population.
I cannot say ignorance. What I can say, lack of awareness and lack of knowledge, because sometimes you don't know if you have not met a person with disability, or you don't have a person with disability in your own house, you can't know the challenges. So that is according what I said about even the sign language. We need even us to learn sign language, even in studio and everywhere. So when you're talking, you can do a sign language. When Abdi is coming here, we don't need an interpreter. You are interpreter yourself. So for us as the National Council, what we are doing, according to this census, some of the challenges you look at a child with albinism, and you know what albinism people talk about. And that is why the Albinism Society of Kenya pushed the government, and the government agreed to give them an allocation of 100 million. Right now, the Autism Society of Kenya, they have pushed And right now, that funding is coming to the National Council. In fact, we are following the ministry. About 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with the PS.
Yeah.
And we discussed this was taken to the executive, to the cabinet, so that these funds can come purposely for these people. Because these people need an allocation. Look at these children. They need medicine. And we are telling the government, because also we are the government, so we are talking even to our colleagues and telling them, let us be realistic about the 2,000 we are giving. I'm asking you.
And that is 2,000 every month?
I'm asking you, older person, and I'm not challenging, and I'm sorry to say this, and a child with disability. We're supposed to get an allocation. An older person, some of these older persons, they are retiring. And after retiring, you are being given an allocation each and every month. Look at the child with disability. Her parent, you're talking about her parent, she can't go to work because she has a huge task to look at that child. That is why you see even in TV, they are tying those child on with those chains. Just because, that parent has a lot of, and that is why we are taking this conversation to another direction, that we need to look at this parent and look and see how we can assist. At least these 2,000 can be taken higher to be at least 5,000 so that the parent can buy medicine. She doesn't work. She can get at least some small money to put a business when she's looking at her kid. So as the National Council, we are trying a lot. And in this sense, that is why we are urging people, even those parents, just agree those child to be counted so that we can negotiate and tell the government, look, this is the statistic. This is our population as persons with disability.
Have the actual working figures.
Yeah, and also even the election, you are saying about 20 counties we didn't have a representative. So when people see the statistic of persons with disability, they will get serious with us. That is what we are saying, Jane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to wind the conversation down, maybe you could tell us a bit about, the process in itself. For those who are wondering how this is going to be done, is my child going to be safe? Are they going to have to be taken somewhere? What do I need to do even to prepare in terms of the technology and the questionnaires that are going to be issued for persons with disability? What can they expect?
Okay, I have said that we sit at the National Steering Committee of the Census.
Yeah.
And we have agreed that we adopt Washington group of questions. This is a set of questions specifically for each and every category of disability.
Okay.
If there is autism, we know how many are children with autism in Kenya. Deaf, same way. Physical, same way. And then we can get the actual total.
Okay.
So when the government is allocating, it can decide to allocate each and every group an allocation.
Of its own.
Yeah, like the albinism and autism now. They have been given 100 million annually. And that is a good gesture for the government because now we shall be able to be planning for persons with disability because you see, physical, like me, we need wheelchairs. Some of us, we need assistive devices.
Yeah.
Some of these autism, they don't need devices. Some need devices, some need medicine. That is why the will assist the government in planning for its own people.
All right. Before I come to you, Beth, let me come to you, Abdi. As we bring the conversation to a close, maybe what would you like to say to the general population in regards to being part of this census, especially for persons living with disabilities?
About the census, we have challenges, and it would be important if we counted every other group of disability, how many blind people we have, how many albinism, how many people with short stature, how many people with whatever disability. It would be good that if we counted every other group so that we can know who we are and so that we can be helped. We'd also want to encourage people to learn sign language because it will make our communication easy.
Okay.
Once we go to the hospital, we would want to have our privacy guaranteed. We would want to communicate with the doctor well. But when you go there and the doctor does not know, and then you need to include another person to come and say what I want to do, and it's a private conversation, I would feel like, my privacy is being interfered with. So we need to encourage more people to learn this language. And I would also want to beg the president and his deputy, kindly appoint a person with disability in this office so that he can help us more. and talk about persons with disability.
Okay.
We can have someone, a representative in State House, the President Office and the Deputy President Office, so you can kindly appoint a person with disability so that he can continue advocating for us and telling him about our needs.
All right.
That's my appeal to the President and the Deputy. Thank you.
And that is a national conversation that actually needs to take place. Let me come to you, Beth, as we bring the conversation to a close. Maybe your words to the general population and also especially parents who have little children with disabilities and in mashinani areas, they tend to hide them. How would you encourage them to be part of the census this year?
Thank you for that question. For parents who have children with disability, one of the appeals we'd like to make to them is to bring out their children in large numbers. Yeah. Do not hide your children. Bring them out, let them be counted, because once they are counted, you will benefit more than when you are hiding the children. Secondly, I would like to appeal to the corporate companies, because some of the parents who are having these special children are working in the corporate companies. They make the working more flexible for parents with children with disabilities, because they tend to ask for more time off than any other parent. And you find that because they are going out more, it interferes with their work. And their bosses sometimes tend to victimize them. Exactly, not to be understanding. I would really appeal to them to be more understanding to parents with children with disability, because sometimes it is beyond them and they need to go out and they need to work with these, to go and help the children. And we also have laws which are accommodating parents with children with disability, because the laws in Kenya currently do not have a provision for accommodating parents with disability. Thirdly, I would like to appeal to parents. When you take your children for census and you find the category of your child is not on the list, because sometimes it is not all the categories that are taken on the list, make sure that you write on the side the category on which your child falls in. Do not say that I will not have my child counted because there wasn't an option.
Okay.
Have them counted. Please bring all the children in large numbers. Fourthly, let's have a Nyumba Kumi initiative, where if you know you have a neighbor who hides the child, speak out. Yeah, and especially to the census, tell them that we know there is that house A, house B, and there is a child who is being hidden. And when you go to that house, make sure you count that child. That will really help.
Let me say.
Very briefly,
okay, let me say this.
Yeah.
As the National Council for Persons with Disability, we are urging Kenyans and persons with disability across the country to come up in large numbers so that they can be counted. I would like to appreciate Safaricom and Kenya Pipeline. They are working in partnership with the National Council, and they are sponsoring students with disability in scholarship. Okay. We're urging all, even private sector, government institution, actually, at least we can help persons with disability. And also you media also. We are encouraging you. This year, we are planning we are planning to write to all our partners so that they can donate wheelchairs to National Council.
Okay.
Our target for wheelchairs each and every year is about 40,000 wheelchairs per year. And what we can afford is only 3,000. You see, so we have a very big gap as the National Council. Right. So for me, as the chairman of the National Council for Persons with Disability, please, I'm requesting persons with disability and Kenyans to come out and assist persons with disability so that they can be counted. Thank you so much.
Let's get the closing remarks. I see Abdi has something to say.
For children who are hiding, for parents who are hiding their children at home, please, I still remind you, don't hide them. Please bring them to me. I am ready to take care of them. Please, I will give my contacts here, and then you can contact me and you can give me all those children, and I'm ready to take care of them. Don't hide your children.
You heard it from Abdi Abdile himself, who is a deaf advocate. At the far left, we have Peter Muchiri, who is the chair of the National Council for Persons with Disability. And to my immediate left, we have been speaking with Beth Kimani, who is a parent to a child with special needs and also working with an organization that deals with Down syndrome. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Remember, this conversation has been about the whole issue of inclusion for persons living with disabilities in respect to the forthcoming census. It will be happening from the night of the 24th up until the 3rd of September. So do not hide your child. Come out, be counted. Remember, the government is still working with the 1.3 million that were counted in the 2009 census, and right now there are over 6 million persons with disabilities. So please come out, be counted, and get to enjoy the services that are offered from this organization. Thank you so much for being with us. We want to take a very quick commercial break. Remember, we have another interview coming up in not too long, so keep talking to us using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya at KBC Television and my handle at Jane Wambui. See you after the break.